the fear doesn't lead you to a fall. What you need to know is that in that fear, you should come close to within you and discover me. That's what it means. The fear is very important because the Bible says that the fear is the beginning of wisdom. So you shouldn't be rationalizing to reduce your fear. You shouldn't do that. The fear is good for you. Face the fear and face your own being. Okay, what's my dream tonight? There are two parts to the dream. The first part is where I notice a rush of wind blowing in my direction. I was in a room, and there apparently appears an urgency. It's something I need to do, and the call appears to be urgent from outside the room. But the wind, the breeze, is blowing into me, through the walls of the room, into me. I delayed it. I didn't act immediately. And then I noticed the sound is coming from the other side of the room. Again, it is an urgent call. But this time, it's a sound. I can hear the sound to my ears. And what's my response? Afraid to receive the call. I hide something somewhere near the telephone booth. I think so. This kind of telephone gadget, and I'm hiding something on it. And why? Because I'm expecting somebody to come, and I'm not ready, so I'm hiding it. Otherwise, he'll pick up and take it away from me. That's the first part of my dream. Now the second part of the dream. Again, I was in a room, and there were people inside the room, but they were all in silhouettes. I see them as silhouettes, like shadows. But this room is kind of special. It has got boundaries. It's like a rectangle shape. But beyond the boundary, I noticed clouds. Not walls, but clouds. So my idea was that, of course, the cloud must be outside the room and beyond the walls. Perhaps the walls were transparent. So I walked towards the edge of the room, moving forward to reach the edge, to understand, to reach the clouds that is around the room. So as I walked towards the edge, I noticed that I didn't fall. I also noticed there isn't a wall at all. So I walked further, and again, it looks like I can walk further. And I'm in the place of clouds. I'm at the edge of the room and the clouds. But I didn't fall. I still could walk further. And that's when I wake up from the dream. Okay, so how should I interpret this dream? One thing is clear. There is fear in me. I fear that something will be taken away from me, right? And I fear that I'll be out of the room. I
fear that there is an edge, there's a boundary, and that I may go beyond the boundary. But interesting, nothing of the sort really happened. No one dared think what I had with me. And when I walk to the edge, it doesn't end at the edge. It just moves on. Mysterious. We go through life with a very high degree of fear. If you examine yourself, you'll notice that. Many a times, you hold on to something, and you hold on it very tight. It's as though you want to keep yourself within the boundary of your own frame of life. You don't want to come out of your familiar ground. We are all so afraid. And what this dream is telling me is that if you go to the edge of your frame, you'll notice you won't fall. In fact, you will never fall. As I keep walking to the edge, and I keep walking and walking towards the edge never ends. It appears that it's ending, but it never ends. You just simply walk. And suddenly you realize you're still not falling. How is that possible? It is possible because this is a one world, and there is no end to this one world. In this oneness, there is infinity. But for some reason or another, we separate ourselves from other people. We think we are just a singular unit in the universe. We forget that we are part of this oneness. And as a result of which, we have a lot of fear to step outside our familiar ground. And what exactly separates you from another person? What exactly separates this body from the universe? It is our mind. That's the separating point. The more we think about ourselves, the more we think, the more we create separation everywhere. And that is one of the key problems facing us all. And you will notice that in this dream, all around me is the clouds. There is a boundary, yes, but all around that boundary is the clouds. I thought that there is a wall, but there isn't a wall. I go to edge, but the edge never ends. And what exactly would be the cloud? The dream is telling me that actually all is breath, and the boundary that I'm creating is only in my mind. Everything is actually just breath. In other words, everything is me. And the question in my mind right now is why is it so difficult to get out of that boundary? Why is it I'm always thinking? Well, the dream is telling me that I'm holding on to something. So why am I always holding on to something? Why can't I let go? The dream is actually really saying, just let go. Because there is no edge. There's no ending point to that boundary. That's what the dream is telling me. So what is letting go? I guess letting go would be that you see an enemy around you, you just simply submit to the enemy, because the enemy cannot really overcome you, cannot at all. It's only in your mind, because your mind has tremendous fear relating to it. That's what it's all about. You find a pain in your body, and suddenly there is fear in you. And the fear is okay. It's okay to have the fear, but just simply let go in that fear. That's the point the dream is trying to say. It's okay to feel the contradictions around you. It's okay. Although you're at the edge of the boundary, you're never going to fall. But I want to stress here that the fear is important, because the fear keeps you very close to yourself. The fear doesn't lead you to a fall. What you need to know is that in that fear, You should come close to within you and discover me. That's what it means. The fear is very important because the Bible says that the fear is the beginning of wisdom. So you shouldn't be rationalizing to reduce your fear. You shouldn't do that. The fear is good for you. Face the fear and face your own being. As I said many times in my video, when you face your own being, you're facing me and you're facing God. When you're facing me, you enter into God, and that's where your solution is found. But what is happening is that most of the time when we have fears, we don't allow that fear to enter into God. We don't allow that fear to be absorbed within me. What we do is we rationalize that fear. And we have many, many thoughts in our brain to somewhat reduce the fear. But these thoughts are useless, actually, in truth, because by reducing your fear and by going into thoughts, you are going away from yourself, and the solution isn't found there. The real solution of life is actually found in your greater sphere. Yes, in your stillness of yourself. As you come near to yourself, suddenly you found the solution. It's not in your thoughts, but within yourself. And how do you get it from yourself? Well, many a times you get it from your sleep. Upon waking up, you found the solution. And how is that possible? Well, because you enter darkness, the darkness of sleep, and you meet God in that sleep. And when you come out of that sleep, and suddenly you discover the solution being given to you right there. Solution is not in the thinking process. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. The solution is found in the silence of the me. That is why in all my videos I interpret my dreams, because my dreams gives me solution far better than my thinking process. Because my dream is a communication, is a message that comes from God to me, or that comes from the angels to me, or that comes from me to me, whichever way you want to interpret it.